This evening. Welcome to the working session of the Wayne Township School Board. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mark, please take the roll.
Absolutely. Brandon Bowman. Susan Graves, present. Karen Burke, present. Michael Gordon.
Present.
Ramika Graham,
Present.
and Ben Wakefield. I'm Sherry O'Day Marcotte, and everyone is present except for Brandon Bowman.
Thank you. The next order of business is the adoption of the agenda for this evening. Could I please have a motion?
I move for adoption of the agenda with flexibility.
Thank you.
Any comments or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda has been adopted. The next section that we're going to go to is recognition. And we have a lot.
Get through all of these.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, this will be fun. Guess what? Guess who's coming with me tonight? Let's go. It's so good to see all of you. We usually are sitting in the middle of the room around the table. And we thought tonight is not the night for that. We need to bring the chairs out and there's still not enough chairs. So this is so exciting. Good to see all of you. When we said the pledge, I could hear the little voices. Pledge, that just made my heart feel good. All right, tonight we're starting with the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System National Champion. Now, I don't have on here, but come on, Khalees Sturdivant, and is Khalees's teacher here. What's going? Let's turn around, everybody can see you. This says second place for sports reports in the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System National Competition. Before Khalees tells us about that, Mr. Goins, if you'll tell us about this competition.
This is a national competition, and Khalees probably didn't have a choice, but I gave her the opportunity to do her sports report. And with her creativity, she did a little differently. And because of it, she was recognized nationally as a second place award winner. And we're just very proud of her, the risk versus the reward. She was willing to step out of her comfort zone. And because of that, she's been awarded second place in the country.
About this competition, what did you do?
Basically, I just really looked into like how like networks, like actual like big networks would do their sports and how like they would interview them in front of the screen where we have the branding and then all the things that they're sponsored by. So I took that and I interviewed one of our players after a football game, and I also included their game. And then I included the rest of the school sports that were going on.
So that's a piece you have to put together and submit.
Yeah,
And that's how, that is amazing, amazing. So what grade are you in
I'm a senior.
and what's next?
Going to college. I haven't decided yet, but.
Cause you're going.
Mhm.
Well, let's congratulate Khalees.
Thank
You're so welcome. Yes.
Going.
He's back. This time, we are congratulating Monique Curtis, Indiana Association of School Broadcasters State Champion for Video in Depth. Monique, tell us about this. What video did you, what is that?
It was a video I made with Instagram's help. It was about Fox Lake, which is an all black lake in Indiana. And I basically made like a promotion video for them to have on their website. Check out.
Now, where is Fox Lake?
And go.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm not allowed to go. I'm not 21 to the events that we're going, but.
That is awesome. And you got what place?
First place.
And
State.
and what grade are you in? And what's next?
I'm going to Ball State to pursue justice. So I'm gonna go for justice.
Yeah. All right, you right on moving.
For our next award, St. Patrick Van Arsdale, Gary Rudolph, please join us.
This department has been so busy. But right now, we want to congratulate the guard. Where are you?
Right here. They might be ever
That's
heard.
how dedicated they are, truly, truly. Will you talk about, they got fourth place at the state finals. Will you
Yeah.
talk about their performance?
Yeah, so we've got, we actually have three winter guards. We have a cadet guard, which is our youngest learners, fifth grade through eighth grade that Ms. Holcomb actually directs. Then we have a regional A guard, which is a little more advanced for some of our younger but and older kids that are continuing to learn about guard. They placed eighth in the states in their region. Cadet got a gold rating, by the way. And then, yeah, our most varsity guard, it's called open guard. They competed throughout the states and were awarded fourth place, and was our highest placements in quite a few years. So we're very excited about everything that they did. That's all the flags and the rifles that you see with the marching band, but indoors where the weather is perfect.
Let's congratulate them. Okay, second place, winter percussion.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, we want the, if they're here.
Winter percussion kids, come on up.
So the winter percussion students put a program together of about 5 minutes of music, and we competed against other schools. The short story is we were second at Indiana State Finals, and we were okay with that. We were pretty heated over that, actually. So, but that was a really good thing. Spring break practices were really productive. And after spring break, we went to World Championships, where we were awarded second place at World Championships. There were a couple first, I guess, the first thing is the group that beat us at state finals, we ended up beating them at World Championship.
You did not just beat them, we actually kind of crushed them.
We had a couple first, the percussion group has not been awarded a medal. We've not been in the top 3 at the percussion world championships before. So that was a fabulous occasion to get those, celebrate. We scored a 96.975, which is, as far as I can tell, that's the highest score that we've ever received. Band wins percussion guard anybody. One of the judges awarded us a perfect 100. The risk and the reward, and that was definitely something that the judges mentioned in what we're doing. So we're very excited about that. There's one other weird thing that kind of occurred to me just yesterday. And that is that this is the 25th year of winter percussion at Van Davis. I know, because I was here at the beginning. So the 25th year is the silver anniversary, and we won 2 silver. Anyway, so very excited about the hard work that all these students did. It's fun to get to, I try to do this, but then when they respond so well to the task at hand and the challenges that we put in front of them, it makes it just absolutely rewarding. So they did a fabulous job. We're super excited.
That is awesome. I'd be remiss, the 2 young ladies, I see Monique, is Khalees still here? Did she leave? Monique, who did you bring with you tonight? Awesome, I just wanted to recognize that you were here tonight. Yes, you will have to speak. We'll give your name and grade. If you're a senior, tell us what you're gonna do.
Hi, my name is Adrian. I'm a senior. I do plan on attending college for music production, and yeah, I do plan on attending Berklee College of Music.
Awesome.
Yeah. I know the nine and I'm the freshman.
Awesome. She's a freshman. Back here, picking you tonight.
No, it's-
So what, you're here? I love it. Did someone come with you tonight? Where's she? There she is. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming. Go ahead.
My name's Evan and I'm a freshman.
I am amazed. That is wonderful. Who came with you tonight?
My
And don't forget mom as well.
All right, ahead, right here. Sorry, my name's Lisa. And you're a freshman.
Wow.
Someone come with you tonight?
No, I'm just.
Okay. They're here and behind you. Wow. Freshman, Gabby, did someone come with you tonight? Okay, so where are you? I'm so glad you're here. All right.
My name is Morgan and I'm an 8th grader.
People say, I am just stunned. That is amazing. Think about what, a year from now, 2 years from now. I mean, you gotta keep it straight. Came with you tonight.
My parents, my brother.
Welcome. Glad you came tonight. Go right ahead.
Sarah Martin, I'm a senior. I'm going to attend Art in Bloomington, study psychology,
Nice.
and I will keep doing these the past life.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. Who came with you tonight?
My parents, my mother right there, and my father.
Thanks for coming. All right, go right ahead.
My name is John, I'm a junior.
Thanks for coming. Right here.
My name is Jada and I'm a freshman and I came with my mother and my sister.
Thanks for coming. All right, go right here.
my name is Gray. I'm a junior and I came here with my mom.
Thanks, Mom. All right, great.
My name is Javier and I'm sophomore and I. My name's Aiden. I came here with both of my parents.
What grade are you in, Hayden?
Oh, I'm sophomore.
Awesome. Where are your parents? Awesome. Thanks for coming. All right, who's next?
I'm Maddie.
There you go. Thanks for coming.
I'm Hannah. I'm a junior. I drove myself.
Okay. Together. Wait. All right. Awesome. Congratulations.
We keep going. We have another group called our Winter Winds, group, and that is just like percussion and guard, but winds are brass and woodwind players. This group was, created by myself, back in 2022, so this is only our 5th year, competing. And we just brought home our 3rd state championship. We did not go to world championships, but I would like to say, we went, to one of the regionals, WGI earlier this year. We won our class, by beating last year's class champion and this year's class champion by about 5 points. So I would like to think we have done really, really well at world championships. So, we will try to get them, here in the next few years. So, I could not have done this without, these two. They really are the heart and soul of this program. LeJean Williams, assistant band director. He actually came up with the idea for the show, and kind of put the whole storyboard together. And then the one that really kind of made it all come to life was Ms. Holcomb, another one of our band directors. She's in charge of the whole visual, program, so I actually got to write the drill, but it really was because of her amazing ideas and like telling me, I don't know what to do with a lot of it. Such a fantastic team, and they're just master teachers, for all of our kids. So.
Do we have any?
Yes, we got lots of Winter Winds kids here, so.
Almost thought we were getting away. No, come on up.
We're really proud of the kids that showed up here, but there was about 50 total in the group that marched this winter. So just amazing. It was a fantastic show. It's called Dimensions of Art, and it's really used some really fun, amazing music throughout. So
I think I caught a practice one day.
yeah.
Popped in, pretty awesome. Yeah. We're gonna start here. I'm gonna introduce your name, your grade. Amen. You got it. It's all right.
My name is Ash, between him and my mom. Andrew and I was sophomore, I came on myself.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, girl.
My name is Dorian. I'm a sophomore and I came with my sister, my mom.
My name is TJ. I came from my mom.
What grade are you in, TJ?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. Where's my mom?
I'm Ellie. I'm a freshman and I came with my dad.
I'm a sophomore and I came with my parents.
I'm Elias, I'm a senior. I'm going to Butler University for music education.
Hey, yeah.
My name is Dagnon. I'm a senior. I'm going to Michigan State for music education. So.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Anastasia and I'm fresh. I came on myself.
Okay.
My name is Emily. I'm a senior in
What's coming next?
I'm going to Mississippi State for aerospace.
She was top 30 as well.
Yeah.
I like to go
Came with you. All right, yeah, scoot in, for a picture. Awesome. Sure. Orchard Rose, are we good?
Maybe, maybe. All right, everybody.
Next, we have Jeremiah, Jerry, come on, Jeremiah. He won the ISMA Outstanding Solo Award at the Jazz State Finals. All right, tell us about you.
Oh.
All right, it's next.
What's next? I'm going to IU Bloomington to study psychology.
Nice. Nice. Someone come with you tonight?
Oh, got two parents in the background.
Thanks for Award.
So it was actually for a song called La Fiesta. It's a really cool song. And Mr. Willie, he had sent me this video of this dude playing like a crazy marimba solo on it. He was like, yo, we need to get you on this. So I took it up. And I took it up. And like one thing led to the next. Yeah.
Did your face. Something like that. I love it. Is this your first time being recognized?
Yes. Yes, I've never like soloed or improvised for this year. So, yeah.
That's impressive.
I'd like to add, probably one of the best musicians we have in the entire school. During winter percussion, there was a couple of judges that were like, hey, who is he? I want him to come to my school for music and whatnot. And just super hardworking, very dedicated, incredible musician, just really creative on everything he does. So there you go.
Dr. Subs?
Yes.
Forgive me for interrupting. As a department chair of performing arts, we have a young man who's going to enroll at the #1 music school in the world. I was just asking where he's going, and he told me, I was like, wait a minute, is that Cal Berkeley? No, Berkeley in Boston, the #1 music school in the world.
That is. And now, oh, this is for the
This is actually kind of a long time coming, this award. And it's more than just for the trumpet section, but 4 years ago, when I took over as director of bands and LaJean came on, I kind of told him, I was like, hey, I'd like you to revitalize the jazz program. We had 4 kids in jazz class. To this date, we have 82. And that's just a lot of hard work along the team, Holcomb, Williams, myself, just trying to make jazz like a thing again. And he's done more than I could have ever asked for. For jazz bands, you take them group one, you can qualify to try to qualify for state finals. Last year, we were 2 spots away from being in, and this year was our first time ever in school history making state finals. So that's a major accomplishment. So I think 56 groups out of the states tried, and they only take 9. And we actually got in on the second highest score in the entire state. So at state finals, they don't do placements, they just name and honor bands and then do awards. So JT Jeremiah, he got a solo award, but then they do a best section award for each section. So we were honored and privileged to have the best trumpet section at Jazz State. Wow. So. Fantastic. This is, well, I'll let you introduce yourself again.
Ash, Junior.
It's me.
Just, I don't know, just those, the sectionals that just count, like, just doing like different things to get better, like every day, so, yeah.
That's awesome.
By the way, is trumpet your primary instrument?
So.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Who else from jazz band is here? The whole jazz band, yeah. Adrian, JT, Eston, Degnos, Ellis, a whole lot of work that I just put into great jazz band like this. Huge problem.
Bonnie and Brady and. Thank you. Let's congratulate. Well, I will tell you, students, we are so proud of you. Am I surprised at your success? Absolutely not. I know the talent that we have in our district, the talent we have in you. I also understand by the crowd we have tonight, our parents who support you in that. I was a band mom. I know what the hours are. I know, what the weekends look like and all the food you make for the kids and the nice gifts that they have for you after every competition and just being there to support you. So parents, kiddos, we have got to thank our parents tonight. Let's do that. I think that was everyone we had tonight. On behalf of the board, we invite you to stay. We have a couple of reports that we would love to share. Everyone's laughing at me. But we know that you probably have plans tonight. This would be a great time to take pictures out in the vestibule if you didn't grab any. But again, you're welcome to stay and have a great evening. Thanks for coming.
Should have brought my beats in it on. Ain't nothing about you when you have AirPod Pros. I didn't know. I think just one people say one beats.
Move on along and Dr. Stokes, did we have anybody sign up for public comment tonight? No, we did not. All right, well, let's move on to new business with Mr. Butler and Human Resources.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. Members of the board, earlier tonight you received Human Resources Report A3 for your review. And I would like to answer any questions you may have, and especially after approval. Human Resources Report A3.
I move for approval of Human Resources Report Schedule A3.
I second.
We've had a motion and a second. Is there any comment or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in, opposed say no. Nay. All right, that has been approved. Mr. Kessler.
Thank you, Madam President, Madam Vice President.
Sure.
Members of the board, with that, I'd like to invite Mrs. Angela Brown to meet Dr. Stokes in the front of the room, please.
Okay.
Mrs. Brown began her professional career in Maine in 2006, teaching kindergarten at Chapelwood Elementary. She served in this position until 2020, when she was hired as assistant principal at Chapelwood, the position she currently holds. Mrs. Brown has served as a member of the district's Women's Leadership Group from the Indiana Association of Principals, leading assistant principals cohort, the mouthful. And Angela also serves on the Indiana Council for Exceptional Children and the Indiana Association for the Gifted. She's led efforts at Chapelwood to partner with nearly 50 community organizations, engineer the multi-tiered systems of support, and co-level school improvement process. Angela holds a Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education from Indiana State University and a Master's of Science in Educational Leadership from Purdue University. Happy to introduce Angela Brown as the next principal of Chapelwood Elementary.
Take a deep breath. I've said that a couple times. It's been a busy day for her today. To staff that are here, thank you so much for your support and for throughout the whole process. These decisions are not easy when we think about the work of the school principal. And we believe we have absolutely made the right choice. And so, is there anything you would like to say to the board?
First off, I'd like to say thank you for this evening, cabinet. Thank you so much as well. You made a dream come true today, and I really appreciate it. Stan, thank you guys for being here. There's a lot of people that work behind the scenes this afternoon really fast, I can tell. Family, I have my husband Mark here who teaches at Davis, my mom and dad, my cousin Nick, Bo Brown, my nephews Bo and Luke, brother and sister-in-law, Sarah and Joe, and tons of family, friends, staff, and several former Chapwood kindergarten students. So thank you guys all for being here. Principals, thank you guys. It's definitely a dream come true.
Awesome, awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations.
You like you. I'm adorable. You should be. It's like I should.
Again, you are welcome to stay. A couple of reports. It's be a great time if you want to scoot out for dinner and celebration with Angie. We certainly understand. Thanks for coming tonight.
Congrats to her. I know you play a lot.
Hey, Rick, mine.
Come on, man. I'm not having a fun.
I will.
Great.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move along to Dr. Samuels for our guaranteed energy savings responses.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. I'm confident that cheer is not for the kingdom.
No, sure, all right.
We do bring lots of great information. I would like to introduce a couple people here. Bob McKinney first, from Stratalign. So they are owner's rep and, as the screen indicates, strategic partner for our energy savings work. We also have Kurt Schneider from Verigy here, as support this evening. So really what we want to do, Bob and I, is really just talk a little bit. At the May 11th board meeting, we'll bring an action item to you for the next round of guaranteed energy savings in MSD Wayne. What we thought would be appropriate though is a quick review of the guaranteed energy savings statute and process. A very quick rundown of what we've already done. You know most of it, but it's really powerful to see it all in one place. And then just a little bit about what this phase really is, so that you have that information and can ask questions before that comes before you on the 11th. Separately, we also on the 11th want to bring to you just a little check-in on the performance of the guaranteed energy savings plans that we've already implemented across the district. So it's a little bit of a preview, a little bit of a review, and then what's in this next phase and kind of how did we get to this point. So I'm going to turn over to Bob and I'll jump in at a couple points, but have, I think, some great information for you here this evening.
Good evening. Good to see you all again. I am Bob McKinney, for those of us who have not met, and I've had the privilege of working for the school corporation for almost a decade. I originally engaged with Mr. Tackett, who was CFO at the time, and Dr. Butts. They came by our office to do show and tell on just what our energy savings, how does it work? And they spent a couple of years talking to us about their vision. And then in 2016, we had an opportunity to begin engineering their first phase of your energy savings. I don't need to recant the history for you, but I was recently in a meeting with Dr. Suggs and Dr. Samuel, reviewing the performance of your guaranteed energy savings contracts and getting into the weeds a little bit. Dr. Suggs and Dr. Samuel had some really good questions, and I feel like we were able to get Dr. Suggs up to speed. And again, she asked some really wonderful questions to our group. And one of the things that came up in our conversation was the impact that your program has had on your school district. And we walked back to the very beginning, if you guys had not chosen to make these investments as a board, your school corporation, we would currently be paying approximately $4 million more per year in gas and electricity expenses, which would be really hard to cover in your operations expense. So congratulations on making this investment. And also congratulations on working with a team that helps it to be a transparent process. Verity does a really nice job. Verity's done all phases of your projects of providing open book accounting and through their energy dashboard, what really is happening in your energy project. So appreciate your commitment, and it's been an honor to serve you all. Steve and I talked, and we thought it'd be a good idea to really quickly highlight what is a guaranteed energy savings contract. It is a procurement method that can be complicated if the board and the stakeholders don't understand how to navigate it to the school's best interest. So it is a state authorized procurement form. And the savings are contractually guaranteed for the school corporation. So those savings are measured by the contractor, by Verity, and reported on an annual basis. And if the measured savings fall short, the contractor would need to cure on behalf of the school corporation. To date, each project that you all have invested in has outperformed the guarantee. The second piece of these projects, they're financially supported by so you're reducing your energy costs and by avoided costs. So each time the energy entity, in your case, formerly IPNL, AAP, Indy, they, every time they raise your rate, where you've made an investment, you're not paying that increased amount if you're not buying that energy. And so those avoided costs are what are very impactful. And that's that $4 million approximately per year you're not paying today. And then the third piece, touched on this a little bit, through the RFP process, every aspect of these projects is transparent. Most RFPs are fairly broad, as the one we're going to put forth tonight. And that gives the client the option to make the selections that are best for them. So our clients have a seat at the table when deciding which energy conservation measures to make based on the highest need of your district. Those are the three, aspects of a guaranteed energy savings contract that you all have chosen to invest in since 2017. I'm going to quickly highlight, we put up on the board here, your 6 phases that have been completed or almost completed to date. We're wrapping up some chiller replacements at Ben Davis University currently in your phase 6. First project was in the top right picture, a solar field for the high school. It's located on the old golf driving range, and 2 generators. Those generators work in conjunction with the solar to attack the other portion of your bill. So there's two portions of an electricity bill, the GAN and AWH, and those generators reduce your demand. When your school made this investment, demand charges were just under $12 a kW, and today they're about $29 per kW. So you've avoided that cost each year, which this year is a little over $500,000 in demand savings alone. And then your solar is wiping out about a little over $500,000 of your kWh savings annually. Phase 2 was a district-wide initiative that touched every building, and it ranged from solar to battery storage to new mechanical equipment to retro commissioning, which is a controls aspect to maximize operations of your facilities. That project reduces equally to phase 1 about $1.1 million in electricity and gas savings. And then we received through that project about $2 million from the Treasury Department in a direct deposit, which was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. We originally intended, or we expected to receive about 1.85 million. And, I guess they didn't get your check key on time, so they paid you guys interest. Unbeknownst to us, we didn't think it was late and we didn't get interest, so that was a nice surprise.
Can I pause right there and talk, Mr. Samuel, we were so happy to hear about that and what that helped us do.
Yeah, so if you remember, those dollars were a part of the conversation this September, October, November, as we talked to the teachers. And really, as we tried to get as creative as we possibly could, brought that to the table, tried to be really transparent that we have these dollars. We think it is one-time dollars, so we think it is very appropriate for one-time investment in our team. So that was timely in a number of ways, because that check really arrived, I think right toward the end of August, right, as that was kind of going. So it really provided that opportunity for us to invest in our people with those dollars as a direct result of our energy savings. So one of those rare win-win-wins, and we're happy to take advantage of that. I did want to say it was not direct deposit, ironically. And until the Lilly check came, it was the largest check I've ever held in my hand. Paper check, which I found a little strange, but we were happy to get it either way, no matter what form it came in.
The weird thing was, that was never considered, the bill was not enacted, that was a gift, does that make sense? You never get a gift, right?
Right.
We all know that, that's got to fight a little bit.
But those dollars were really helpful, as you know, negotiations was a challenge a year ago. These dollars showing up at that time helped us get over the hump. Great.
Thank you. Phase 3 was your transportation center. So not this transportation center itself, but the energy consuming aspect of it. So your school district did a lot of forward planning. There's a lot of infrastructure you don't see. If the district were ever to move to electric buses, there's an infrastructure underground in place to support that. There's a transformer that's ready to go. And we do have a couple of chargers that were installed for testing purposes. But you see those solar arrays there that are covering your buses. Those actually, in addition to the transportation center, they feed your fire department, headquarter building, the Grand Hall facility, and Westlake Elementary School to offset their energy use. Within that project, Vergy also reduced the number of meters at Westlake Elementary School to lower demand charges. And then we planned for the reduction in your demand at several buildings, including the fire department, with the battery system that was installed to get you onto a lower rate. And we just got approval within the last month from the utility company that you are now moved into a lower rate category on that facility. So again, kudos to you guys. It's just good planning and good execution all the way around. Some of these things take time, but they do happen with good commitment. We do meet Vergy's team, Stradline, your facilities team, and Dr. Samuel every 2 weeks to just center on these projects, talk about what's coming up next, what's needed, so we can all stay ahead of it and make sure these things that you've been promised actually take place. In phase 4, we did a large mechanical project. So you've got a lot of mechanical equipment in a school district like this. They are coming to end of useful life. And so replacing that equipment and then commissioning it in an appropriate manner to make sure that we maximize savings going forward is a key. And then phases 5 and 6, just more of that, boiler replacements and chiller replacements. We got together with your facilities team almost about a year ago. And Vergy and Stradline and Todd Hendricks toured your facilities. A master plan was updated. Vergy did a lot of work to create a list with budgets and budgeted energy savings with Todd Hendricks, your director of facilities. And we shared all of that data with the facilities team and Dr. Samuel. And we started discussing the next round of energy savings projects based on that data. And this late winter and early spring, we worked with Ice Miller, Steve Jones, your attorney, to put together this RFP. We shared the information with them. We wanted to make sure it was written in a manner that best reflected what we were trying to achieve from a technical standpoint. He wanted to protect you from a legal standpoint. And so, he worked really closely with Dr. Samuel and Stradline on putting that document together. And the overall desire is to continue to proactively maintain your master plan for energy, as assets are continuing to age and as the utility company is continuing to raise its rates. We have a meeting, utility had settled, but we had a recent meeting with them where they indicated what the rate increases are gonna mean to the school district on your rates that you pay. And in short, over the next 10 years, they expect your energy rates to double. And they also expect them the next 2 years to go up a little over 20%. And so it's not sharing that with you to cause fear, because you're well ahead of it and you're attacking those things. You've already offset a lot of your energy usage across the school district. But I did put together a graph that highlights for you, if you stopped the plan you're on and just let things ride out without paying attention to how you're replacing equipment and without beating the utility company at their demand game, versus the green line, which is the trend you've been on, and it's the RFP as you execute it over time. You guys will save an additional almost $16 million in utilities over the next, that's a 10-year period. It's not that long. And that's at the utility rate increases that your utility company told us they wanted us to expect. So just a good indicator is how this RFP next phases can continue you guys on your master plan journey.
This may be too simple of a question, but I'll ask it anyway. Where are we with total cost of projects and savings? Because obviously we have to pay for the projects to be done. So are we in the saving money, or just this what we would have paid?
Yeah, so going back to 2017, I can get you the total savings. Do you know that off the top of your head, or Steve?
I don't, but I think that's a great question. When we come back on the 11th, I think that's something that we can be prepared to bring, because it's great, really a great look at what was the cost of the project, what's the lifetime savings, where does that put us? Absolutely.
Here, I'll cover statistics. Basically, let's not look at the cost. We all just heard it was $11.30. Now it's $28.40, 154% increase over the period we started, just 12 years. More importantly, at the high school, your thing called demand, which is like how fast you go in a car in a month, has gone from 33,400 kW for the whole year down to close to 16,000. So it's down 50%. The high school kilowatt hours was 12 million. Now it's like 5.5. I want to caution, just because I'm doing this 42 years. There's one major piece that we've helped with as a group, like getting together for over 8 years, every 2 weeks. There's a lot of deferred maintenance, boilers, chillers, cooling towers that you would have to pay for that were part of this project. We're proud together as a team. The cost has never risen at any project we've done over 60 million bucks. That's it. Important. I want to share with you that there's energy savings and there's cost of products that were 30, 40 years old that were in this master plan that have to change. I swear to that. Okay.
But I think it's a question that the community
100%.
asked and said, okay, great, we're putting all these in, but we are going to save money, but how
Yeah,
much
so
projects cost?
one of the statistics was on phase 2 was if you invested $26 million, you would avoid $62 million over the 30-year period. That's why they did. But understand, I'm just being cautious, and some things are 3-year payback, some things are 10, and some might be 80 or 90, but you got to replace it because the chillers.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'll share with that. Fair enough.
We'll bring that information to the meeting. We'll break it down, what was energy only and how is that performed and what was an avoided cost of a capital project like a chiller or.
So 100% agree. I think just being able to answer the question. Yeah, I see where we are.
Little backstory, your husband, he was the principal at Dando when I was doing project, that's how old I am. 1992.
He's gonna ask me questions about
Yeah. Tell me, go on. Sorry. But one nice benefit though, interesting is, you probably get like $4 million from the government. That's That's terrific in all situations, but Bob will put together, sorry.
If I could, that really what you'll see here is kind of the big pieces were in here, but Bob has alluded to this, but really we came together. We continue to try to look forward in the construction world, 18 months out is sometimes not quite early enough. And so contextually, and I think for the board and the communities, the projects that we're approving at recent meetings are ones that have been in the work for a long time. And so as we talk through what this includes, it'll be a great chance to just talk again about what does the future hold in 27 and 28, 29 and beyond, with what does that debt capacity look like in those years? And what does that reduced capacity mean for what we can bite off? And why do we have to be strategic and prioritize some of these needs that are not very glamorous in the short run to make sure that we're managing our finances the best way possible on a number of levels. So just a couple little pieces for context, I think, to help really frame where we're at. And as Bob said, it was, how can we do this that gives us the flexibility? We don't know which chiller is going to necessarily go out first. And how can we do it within the framework of all the great things we're already doing with energy savings? So those are really the lenses that we put to this as we sat down and tried to figure out, what this guaranteed energy savings project might look like when we put it out on the streets.
So yeah, just to build on that, and these are the high level aspects of the RFP that was published. Working with Steve Jones, your attorney, we provided him with the information of what was found and updated within your master plan. But it's an iterative process and we don't really know. We know you're just talking tonight about Lindburst and that I would probably move that to your highest need, but 2 months ago, I wouldn't have known that. And so Steve Jones did a really good job of understanding and kind of pushing this in that direction of that you have to have flexibility in what you choose to do when you're able to do it based on funds that are available. And so we certainly can't do all of these things in your next phase. But as a group, we'll work together to select which are the best and then work with Verigy on putting together the program for those and then bring those forth to you via post contract when the time is right. So again, chillers, retro commissioning, deficiencies. So there's a lot of equipment that none of us see in your control system, actuators, dampers, fan boxes, things that in our diligence, Verigy leading the charge there have noted and through your retro commissioning of those facilities, and they're ready to be fixed when there's funds available. And then alternative energies, so it could be solar, it could be your batteries, it could be more generators district-wide as your utilities continue to increase their rates. We're prepared to combat those rate increases with energy investments. So again, when funds are available and there's a solution that makes most sense, that's what we would recommend we deploy at that time. And then the obvious infrastructure improvements are going to be ongoing. As equipment ages out, it has to be replaced. And it's our opinion it should be replaced within this model. They're energy consuming items, and so we want to make sure they're done correctly. And then all of the programs that Stratline and Verigy work on, preventative maintenance is a key piece that's included. We really don't want these projects to impact your operations fund. We're working really hard to save money there. And so we want to pre-fund through the debt side, your preventative maintenance, and make sure those items are taken care of for the lifetime of the asset. So all of those were captured in the RFP. So when the time is right, we can select the ones that are best.
In a perfect world where we can implement plans and these chillers cooperate with us, really we're kind of looking at pairing one of those secondaries with one of those elementaries each year over the next 3 years. So we're really trying to look out a little bit further. They have to help by cooperating and lasting that 3 years for a couple of those. And then of course, things that behind the scenes, if you're going to replace a chiller, you've got a window. And it's basically late October until we get back from spring break. And so that's another advantage of working with partners like Verigy and Stratline. We replaced chiller at BDU during the previous heating season, and train, correct? Had some supply chain issues. kept pushing them. Chillers arrived, but they weren't fully operational on day one, week one of school for that entire week, so.
They were 7 weeks late. We had to put in a differentiation. We had to put in a temporary chiller at some of the velocity starting the company, Coca Park. We believe straight up that because we kind of live in this district. And so we put a temporary chiller in. It substantially cost $27,000-$30,000. Did we charge the school? No. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but we want longevity and annuity for our employees, the people. That's kind of the philosophy we built the whole thing around. But it never comes right. Do in November, February, right? It's April, it's not there, but they want Gooley. So it's hard to go through a little more detail. But it's like your high school. You got air handling units that are almost as old as I am. Does that make sense? And you got fan bottle boxes you can't get parts for. Those are big ticket items that will come back. Unfortunately, we'll have to go to a little bit of step pause time, right?
And it's a good example too. I told Kurt that I happened to be on vacation as that was playing out. Came back, I saw Kurt and I said, hey, because I got a picture from Todd Hendricks. It showed me the chillers and they were sat in place. And I just said, thumbs up, awesome, glad they made it on time. And I came back and told Kurt, hey, the chillers made it, perfect timing. He goes, well, it is, that just doesn't happen. We don't have problems like that I don't know about that just get solved. It's a good thing for our, for our district that partnership exists, but. So just real quick on the debt side, and I'll let Bobby finish up here. When we get to next year, if you remember, we last calendar year went through the process of authorizing $150 million in debt. And we talked about that as really a 10-year investment at about $15 million a year. And we would begin using those dollars, leveraging them in 2027. And so just conceptually, what we have budgeted and kind of how quickly does $15 million go in a district our size? We've estimated about $3.5 million for those secondary chillers. So Lyndhurst, Chapel Hill, 9th grade center, about $1.5 million for those elementary chillers. That puts us at $5 million a year right there. We have $2.5 million that we use every year to support our maintenance operations fund. So we're either replacing or fixing smaller capital items across the district, our technology, capital items, and our transportation capital items. That's about $2.5 million more. So we're at $7.5 million. We buy buses out of debt. So that's about $2.5 million a year. All of a sudden, we're at $10 million. And so, there are a handful of other things that obviously stack up on there, but I think it really illustrates just as we move toward that, it's important that we do that. It does force us to try to be really strategic and really look out and plan things. And we also have to get a little bit lucky on some of these pieces of equipment. So it's a conversation that we will continue, but it's a good opportunity to just revisit what does that plan look like in action as we start to plan for these projects.
So in preparation for the May 11th meeting, Dr. Samuel have you provided the write-up at this time? Are you going to do it?
So they have, our board doc isn't working tonight,
Okay.
but the file of Bob's review of the response to the RFP is in there. It is 2.5 pages instead of 140, which is what the entire response from Verigy is, and we'll talk about this next 2 weeks also, but Verigy was the only respondent for this project also.
So we went ahead and scored per section of the RFP and broke it down. We'll speak in more detail to that at the May 11th meeting. Be glad to answer any questions the board has. We'll also come back for requests with specifics on the financials of these projects. Our recommendation at the next board meeting is going to be to select Verigy as the guaranteed energy savings contractor on the next round of energy savings projects.
Any other questions on where we're sitting right now?
How long is the contract?
So really and you can correct me when I misspeak here, because I think I'll probably at least one point. Basically, we're going to identify which of those strategies we can afford, and then that would be a little contract negotiation. So it would identify projects more than a term.
10 years or whatever, okay.
It's kind of project to project
Okay.
based on funding, so it'll be a finite project, might be two chillers or two schools of chillers. And conditioning, and that would be that contract.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, guys.
thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Sorry, we didn't have like an audience. You could have-
No problem. Thank you again.
For you, I don't understand.
Yeah. What I like that.
Crying, but-
The first time ever in my history where I had two
You
people
for our
out.
school board policy first reading.
We have two of those tonight. Let's start with board policy. This is the controlled substance and alcohol testing for CDL license holders and safety sensitive positions. I feel like I'm doing the work that Dr. Fudge has done like 12 years, shortening our policies by bringing you these. However, our legal counsel did recommend moving this information back in policy from our existing guidelines based on recent state police audits of other school corporations. So based on the audits of those corporations, they've recommended we put this information back in the policy. What you'll see in this policy that outlines our testing guidelines for drugs and alcohol, as well as our obligation to maintain information in the commercial driver's license drug and alcohol clearinghouse. We are.
Professor, I'm sorry for interrupting. Is it safe to say that much of this language is not brand new?
Oh, absolutely.
Moved from guidelines we used to have in place? But, okay, great. Thank you.
So we interpret CDL license holders and sensitive positions to be anyone who drives a vehicle or equipment purchased in Wayne Township. So that's going to include bus drivers, bus mechanics, transportation administrators, school police, maintenance positions, grounds workers, some child nutrition employees, because we deliver nutrition standards, so food driven standards. And do we still take it to West Side to the private school? Yeah, so we still support the school on 10th Street by Chapel Glen, west side. The private school.
That's like for the nursery. Yeah. Not sure. Yes.
So we do have drivers who pay for there. And then in our transitions, there are some of our paraprofessionals who drive our students in the transition program to their jobs. During playground. So those are the positions that we've identified that will be in this position. We'll put, except for our drivers and mechanic, these other employee groups, those members of the employee groups will be on a 3-year rotation for testing. Plus, they also then are in the random testing. They're in the group that could be pulled at any time. Okay. So I can address any questions you might have about school board policy P250.
Okay.
Let's then take a look at 225, which is purchasing procedure and capital assets. So, yes, this is huge. Yes, we came out of guidelines. Yes, it also, though, it does incorporate school board policy 250 bidding from employee department. So 250 will now be available for us if we have any other policy. So that won't be a policy. It's in this policy now. So we eliminated the whole policy, but made one. Right? So this puts into policy items that were, again, Dr. Sugg mentioned administrative guidelines. Also added advice from our legal counsel to comply with Indiana statutes and the state board of accounts guidelines. Okay. Few items I want to point out specifically. Items 7 under public purchasing. It's on the second page. Sets the amount of 150,000 as the threshold for obtaining bids for goods and supplies, and this does align directly with state board of accounts guidelines. On item 15, purchase order, also under the public purchasing section, as on the 5th page, states that any purchase over $10,000 must be approved by the school board. So we questioned this with Dr. Samuel and I, along with Dr. Burns. And Amy spent a considerable amount of time on a call with Amy Matthews and Caroline Wood, our legal counsel. And they affirm that when you approve the docket, you are meeting the obligation of approving anything. So we don't have to bring every individual purchase for general knowledge. You're approving all the docket. So that qualifies. And then under alternative purchasing, and this is item 3, purchasing organizations. We removed the word services from the supplies and goods and put services in a separate section. That's item 4. And this is a statement of law, and having section 4 then complies with the law and makes it consistent with Indiana code. I'm happy to do my best to answer any questions you may have concerning school board policy F-225. And we'll lean heavily on Dr. Samuel. Most likely for your question.
So, Mr. Fessler, just as a summary, you said at the beginning, a lot of this is, if not most, is the guideline coming over to the policy, and what you just highlighted were the changes.
And I did want to point out that $10,000 being approved by the board, obviously, that's going to draw your attention because you're going to say, we buy a lot of things that are $10,000 or more, and we don't put, you don't always put each one of them. That's why I wanted to highlight that the approval of the docket satisfies that requirement.
The operation could grind to a halt.
Any other questions for? Dr. Stokes? Board information and comments.
No, this is a busy week, busy time of year, and I know I say that every time we get together. But this week, we certainly have a celebration, coming, as we recognize our, well, that's next week, week is Evening of Excellence for our students on Thursday evening. So, if you would like to join us, we would love to have you. I think our students and parents would be excited for you to be there. I will introduce you, so want to give you a heads up. It's a fairly long presentation as we're honoring our seniors, their accomplishments. They'll be taking photos, but it's a very exciting evening. So we're looking forward to it. That's all I have.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn meeting. Second.
We've had a motion and a second to adjourn. Any comments, questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion to adjourn has been approved. And 7:47.
Thank you.